You might have heard that live shopping is exploding. And I have to tell you, I have been on Whatnot for a couple of weeks now, and I see why it is. Now, Whatnot is my sponsor, and they are the reason I got on the platform and checked it out. I'm glad they did. They made it easy for me. I'm going to make it easy for you. I love it. Whatnot is where you get great products without paying full price. It's that simple. I'm hooked on their live shows, too. You got to see them. They're so much fun. And I see why Whatnot has climbed to the top of the App Store. And listen, if you're selling online, or maybe you have a storefront and you're hoping people will find your listing or maybe walk in your store, Whatnot flips that, because on Whatnot, you go live and you sell directly to people in real time. And I may admit, although you didn't hear from me, I may have picked up a couple of power tools or so in the past couple of days. I'm just saying. Whatnot, it's the largest dedicated live shopping platform with beauty, collectibles, electronics, luxury, fashion, even cookies, and anyone can sell. In fact, people who sell on Whatnot sell 10 times as much as any other major marketplace. That's because you're not just listing products, you're building real connections with buyers. So whether you're shopping or you're selling, download the Whatnot app today and get free shipping on your first order. Just search WHATNOT, Whatnot, in the App Store and start scoring amazing deals. So I was whining to my wife the other day, said, I need new glasses. And she said, well, get some. I couldn't tighten them anymore. They were scratched. You know the thing, right? But I didn't want to go through the process because you have to make the appointment. You have to spend weeks to get them done. And you got to pay a fortune, right? That's real. But I did. I spent $500 on frames and glasses, and that was cheap. And then I ordered a pair from my sponsor, Zenni Optical, for $70. Zenni is an online eyewear shop, prescription glasses, sunglasses, blue light lenses, starting at under $30. You go to Zenni.com, you pick a frame, upload your prescription, and they ship it to your door. No appointment, no store, no upsell at the counter. And by the way, if you are saying, do I really need new glasses, or do I have to put up with one pair to do everything I need to do for the next 2 years? No, you can get what you want starting at under $30. And if you've never bought glasses online, don't worry about it. I haven't either. Zenni has a virtual try-on so you can see exactly how the frame looks before you commit to buying them, with no salesman looking at you saying, those look good, but these expensive ones would look better. No, you don't get that. I'm excited. I can't wait to get my Zenni glasses and tell you more about them. If your glasses are overdue for a refresh, now's the time. Go to Zenni.com/podcast and use the code podcast15 for 15% off your first order. The styles sell out, so don't sit on it. That's ZENNI.com/podcast. Promo code podcast15. Happy Friday. So happy to have you here. This has been a really bad week for me. It really has been, because I had a dental appointment and I had a dermatologist appointment. And you know what that means, right? That means on one day I got lectured not flossing enough, and the next day I got lectured for not wearing sunscreen enough. It has been a terrible week. So we're going to wrap it up, get into the weekend, and probably make all those same mistakes again. That's what we're going to do. So today, we're going to dive into something that's very classic. It's from Earl Nightingale. It's based on The Strangest Secret. I give you the background on The Strangest Secret. If you haven't heard it before, you probably should listen to it someday. If you haven't, you need to go back in time. It's just classic, and we'll do that on the Daily Boost. The positive boost you need every single day since 2006. We started the show. Now, that's a little bit of a lie, kind of a little bit of a lie, but it's not a lie. We started the podcast well before that, and the original Daily Boost episodes took place in November of 2006. That's when it started. My first wife, Cheryl, was sick and was going to pass away, and I was trying the best I could possibly do to keep my head straight. I said, well, I'm an upbeat guy, right? My wife is in the other room. She's dying. She's going to die any day now. I'll just go in the studio and record the Daily Boost podcast and pump people up. That's what I'll do. Wasn't the best idea in the world. I don't suggest you do something that's supposed to be inspirational when your wife is dying. So I put those away. I still got them. They'll never make the airwaves. They're gone. And then she did pass away. And then I said, okay, well, I got through that. Let's go do what we're supposed to do. And it started right at the first day of 2007 in the sense that we were doing these seasons. So anyway, welcome. Good to have you today. Thanks for stopping by. Motivationtomove.com is where all my stuff is. If you want to be involved in a little deeper way than this program, that's where you find it. Earl Nightingale. He's one of the reasons I got into this business that I'm in right now. And he's absolutely the reason I'm doing this podcast. A lot of years ago, I worked at the motivation station down at in Pompano Beach, Florida, the Winners News Network. I forgot what it stands for. Nonetheless, My job was to play motivational clips, and it became a network, and I actually introduced these clips along the way. So very early in my career, I was playing motivational clips. We literally it was like a top 40 radio station. We'd take the Earl or the Nightingale Conant tape series, cut them up into clips, and play them on the radio. It was a pretty cool job if you're a guy like me. It was cool. But Earl Nightingale did something pretty interesting. He did over 5,000 individual radio programs. That's a lot. That's a lot. And very few people do that. I think Paul Harvey probably did that many, but very few people have done 5,000 individual programs like that. And certainly on one topic, Our Changing World, he called it. And when I get into this world as a podcast, I looked at that and said, well, heck, maybe I can do more episodes, more programs than Earl Nightingale did. And I have done that at this point. It's been 20 years to get there, but I've done it. It got me into this business. But Earl Nightingale was actually a guy that was trying to motivate insurance salesmen. That's what he was trying to do. And he had to get sales up. Always understand where motivation and things like this come from. He had to boost sales. He had to boost the morale of his salespeople, right? And he was going out of town, though. And so what he did was he sat down and he recorded what he called The Strangest Secret. And he put it on a record album. And he went out of town. And when he went out of town, people started listening to what was on the album, and it was motivating people so much. And eventually it found their way to a radio station, and they started playing this record, this spoken word album. It was first a gold record that was a spoken word album. And by the time he got back and came back in, he didn't know what had happened, but now he's famous. He was making all kinds of money, and they wanted more from him. And so he gave us more and started really educating us and sharing his wisdom with us. That's how it all started, by the way. So it's crazy how this stuff begins. So the strangest secret is very simple. Let's get that going here. Number one, you become what you think. You become what you think. Whatever's going on inside your mind right now is what you will become. And one of the things I've seen that has played out in my world is often people are thinking about where they're stuck or how bad things are, and they're seeking a solution to get it fixed. So I get it. I get where you are, but they're spending most of the time on how bad things are. We talked about that earlier this week with the wives and the ex-wives, talking about how bad things are. You become what you think. If you think about the things that are bad in your life right now, you're just going to get bad things more. It's going to keep going. So you have to force yourself to think in a different way. You become what you think. Number two, you must pay the price. What does that mean? Is it money? Sometimes. Is it time, investment? Is it discipline? Yes, all those things. You become what you think, but when you decide to go in a certain direction, you're going to have to pay the price. It's not going to be handed to you. You must pay the price. To get success that's not earned is never going to last. You must earn it. And I think you've seen that play out in your life again and again and again. Number three, you must control your thoughts. Back to number one, you become what you think. I mentioned a few weeks ago, thinking is okay. To have a thought is fine. Have a thought is fine. Have a thought, let it go. When you start thinking and overthinking, you are not going to suffer the rest of your life when you do that. So if you have a thought and you start dwelling on it, you got to control your thoughts. You have to learn to do that. This is neuroscience. The neuroscience has been proven these days and was really just talked about, just kind of, hey, we knew it worked back in Earl Nightingale's days. What's next?
Study and play come together on a Windows 11 PC. And for a limited time, college students get the best of both worlds. Get the Unreal College Deal. Everything you need to study and play with select Windows 11 PCs. Eligible students get a year of Microsoft 365 Premium and a year of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with a custom color Xbox wireless controller. Learn more at windows.com/student offer. While supplies last. Ends June 30th. Terms at aka.ms/collegepc.
Cut away the limitations of your mind. Your mind will give you limits. It'll tell you can't do it. It'll tell you there's consequences of things. You don't do it. You shouldn't do it. But the truth is, if you talk to me, I will say, yeah, but some limitations are good for you, aren't they? There's guardrails on that mountain road that you want to go too fast on. That's not a bad limitation. Some consequences are good for you. Can't quit my job. What if I can't pay my bills? Yeah, what if you're sane and sleep better? Cut away the limitations from your mind. In our vernacular, we sometimes call that limiting beliefs. Reframe yourself and change. Got to control your mind. You become what you think. That's how you do it. Number 5, set a clearly defined goal. We talk about goals a lot. Most people don't know what goals are. Most people certainly do not execute them properly. It must be clearly defined to the point that you know specifically what you're trying to accomplish. If you do not know what you're specifically trying to accomplish, you will just meander down the road and get what you get. And by the way, that's the hardest part, clearly defining anything. If you're in business, if you work for somebody else, my guess is you spend a whole lot of time defining things. If not, you get fired. Number 6, act promptly when your path is clear. Reject passivity, if you will. When you figure out what your goal is and you've set it, don't sit around and wait for it. Don't fix to get ready. I'll do it next year. I cannot tell you how many people do that. Drives me bonkers. Wait a second. We just figured it out. You know exactly what you're going to do, and you're not going to get to it until when? Why? Oh, well, we got a busy month coming up. Kids are going to graduate. Stuff. No. Recipe for not getting what you want is not acting promptly when you know what you should do. Be bold. I said this last week. Be bold. Reject passivity. Lead sacrificially. Go for it. Get it done. Stop playing around. And the last one, as a guy who has spent a few years on this planet and did not pay attention to this one and had to make it up later in life, it is easier if you save at least 10% of every dollar for the very, very beginning. And if you did not, it's wise to start today. Maybe a little bit more than that, all right? The secrets of success are indeed strange. And as I have learned in so much of what I do, if you take the hype out of it, it comes down to the real basics of life. It's so simple, and we all know that. In fact, it's as simple as breathing. If you get breathing right, life is different. If you get hydration right, life is different. If you get exercise right, life is different. If you get relationships right, life is different. There's nothing hard about any of those. You get those right, everything else becomes easy. So pay attention to the basics in life. You become what you think. You must pay the price. You must control your thoughts. You must cut away limitations of the mind. Clearly set your goals. Act promptly when your path is clear. Save at least 10% of every single dollar and watch what happens. Magic. It's as if Harry Potter swooped in and waved his wand upon you. And something cool happened, because I'm not a big fan of Harry Potter, but it was a cool metaphor that made sense. I've ridden the roller coaster at Universal. It's neat. You should do it someday, especially the one with the bike. Hey, have a good weekend. Thanks for hanging around with me this week. It's been fun, and I'll see you Monday right here, as always, on the Daily Boost.